Hi, I'm Erik Voss, and Avengers 4 has a lot of questions to answer after Avengers Infinity War. Close to the top of that list is, what role will Captain America play in this endgame against Thanos? Why did he have a relatively smaller role to play in Infinity War? After directing him in Winter Soldier and Civil War, why did the Russo brothers bench the old man in this one? I didn't think that shot could get any sadder. Let's look at some recent unearthed clues from Infinity War and some interesting statements from the directors, screenwriters, and other cast members to theorize what Cap's Avengers 4 mission could be. Okay, after Infinity War came out, the filmmakers acknowledged that Captain America had more of a supporting role in the fight against Thanos compared to the other Avengers. And actually, they revealed that an alternate ending of the script originally planned for Cap's role to be even smaller. The original plan was to remove Cap from the story altogether, to keep him an absent fugitive figure on the run following his departure after Civil War. The Russos said they intended on Cap and Stark's division being the core reason for the Avengers' loss against Thanos. Cap wasn't even going to join the fight until the last minute. Remember Thor's epic mid-battle return with Stormbreaker that you found yourself standing and applauding at with a stranger named Randy who has now seen you cry? That twist was originally going to be Captain America finally joining the fight. But according to the Russos, everyone at Marvel lost their minds at the idea of Cap coming in so late to the movie. So they revised the story so that he arrives earlier to save Vision in Edinburgh. Still, you have to admit, compared to, say, Thanos or Doctor Strange, Cap's decisions carry a bit less weight in the overall story. But the screenwriters said that there was a good reason for that.
Some characters have great stories in the second movie. Somebody like Cap or Natasha, you might feel, oh, they didn't have quite as much to do as, say, Thor or Doctor Strange, and that surprises me. It's likely because they have a lot to do in the next one.
McFeely has actually gone on to describe Cap's journey in Avengers 4 as a very intense arc. Very intense! So, assuming Avengers 4 becomes more of Cap's story, what will that very intense arc be? Well, recently while rewatching Infinity War the 14 millionth time, this interesting detail came up. The flip phone that Tony and Cap exchange as a way to communicate with each other at the end of Civil War. Early in the movie, Tony whips out that flip phone and we see a close-up of the screen showing Steve Rogers' number. Now, in case you're wondering, that phone number is an Atlanta area code given to production by Disney, probably since they shot the movie in Atlanta. And if you try to call it, nothing happens. Even though the directors wanted to record a voice message from Steve Rogers, Disney nixed the idea. Bummer. Anyway, the new detail discovered by a guy on Reddit who uses this same kind of flip phone is this envelope icon. When it looks like that, it means you have an unopened text message. So apparently Tony Stark has an unread text from Cap, who is the only person who has the number to this burner phone. And later in the sequence, when Banner finds the phone and uses it to call Steve, there's another icon, these arrows, which means the phone is sending or receiving some file. The icon shows up after you accept receiving an incoming file, or after you've sent a really low quality photo from your handy 2011 AT&T Z221. So what could those secret correspondences between Cap and Tony be? Well, my guess is the unopened text is Cap updating Tony on his last location after they've moved on. Or perhaps some news about the general sense of concern that Vision had been feeling from the Mind Stone, most likely warning him about Thanos' coming arrival. And maybe Tony just doesn't want to open it because he would prefer to have some plausible deniability on Cap's whereabouts. Still, Tony must care a little about Cap. After all, he did keep that flip phone on him while jogging with Pepper, and it was fully charged. And then when it comes to that sent or received file, I think was Tony sending Cap an image of Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian that he took, or maybe showing their Q ship, all to warn Cap about this new emergency in New York. The point is, this flip phone means that Cap and Tony are still in communication, regardless of how archaic and paper cup connected by yarn the means may be. And despite not once appearing together on screen in Infinity War, their path to defeating Thanos may be tied to some link to their past selves, perhaps something rooted in the year 2011. And look out, because I'm about to get into some possible spoilers for Avengers 4. So when it comes to Avengers 4, I don't think it's that crazy to assume Cap's very intense arc might take him into the past. Yeah, I'm talking about time travel, people. The evidence is everywhere. There were these set photos of Chris Evans looking clean shaven and spiffy, wearing his 2011-2012 era Captain America suit, the same one that he wore in the Battle of New York in the first Avengers. His suit has definitely changed in the years since. Then there was an Instagram post from Frank Grillo, that's the actor who played Brock, aka Crossbones in Winter Soldier and Civil War. He teased that he might return in Avengers 4, which is a little weird because we definitely saw him blow up in Civil War, War. Plus, just recently in the post-credits scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp, we definitely heard the term time vortex mentioned as a danger in the quantum realm.
And don't get sucked into a time vortex. We won't be able to save you.
And that movie's director, Peyton Reed, repeated the term time vortex and confirmed we shouldn't rule out time travel as a possibility. Furthermore, Marvel head Kevin Feige himself has said Avengers 4's story draws inspiration from the finale episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. That episode is titled All Good Things, and it features Picard jumping through time, leading 3 versions of his crew in the past, present, and future to save humanity. Also, Wasp actor Evangeline Lilly compared Avengers 4 to her experience shooting Lost Season 4. In that season, the series begins to include flash forwards, a future timeline concurrent with the present timeline on the island. And it opened up the show to multiple time periods, where in the season finale, heading into Season 5, the island literally becomes unstuck in time, causing the characters to jump around to different years within the timeline. It's intense. Very intense! This could describe Cap's very intense arc in Avengers 4. Just imagine a scenario in which Tony Stark realizes that his present-day relationship with Cap is just too fraught, too damaged by their battles in Civil War, and that, by comparison, their friendship back in the good old days, in 2012, the heyday of the AT&T Z220 flip phone, was invulnerable. They were tight, they were filled with shawarma, they were ready to avenge anything. And that old school Cap is the Cap that Tony needs. The Cap who proudly wore the Stars and Stripes and gave him that sick assist in Manhattan. The Cap who beat the piss out of Brock and his other crooked SHIELD goons in an elevator. The Cap in Avengers 4 might just follow in the footsteps of another famous Cap, Cap Picard, in All Good Things, in a very intense arc that slips back and forth through time to the moments he felt the most heroic, to inspire him to be a hero once more. But if this theory is true, here's a question I'll leave you with. Which MCU moments from movies past would you most want to see restaged in Avengers 4? Comment down below with your thoughts and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Erik Voss to keep track of me, and some fun stuff that I'm really excited about that I'm working on. Like this video, share it around, and subscribe to New Rockstars for more Avengers 4 predicting. Guys, there's only 253 days left until the premiere, which, by my math, means we can fit in about 2,400 more screenings of Infinity War. There's so many clues! Come on, everyone, let's get to rewatching Who Needs Friends?